and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this is a Lesney Matchbox 70B Ford grit spreading truck. These were in the series between 1966 and 1972, transitioning to the Superfast line in 1971. This working model was sent to me by longtime friend of the channel Tony, as indicated by his name scrawled on a tear-off of masking tape. The little plastic tab, which could be black or grey plastic, could be pulled open and closed to regulate the release of the hopper's load. Here's a fresh, later regular wheels example with a darker yellow hopper, and this is what it is based on, a Ford D series. The D series was produced by Ford of Britain from 1965. It replaced the Thames Trader and was targeted to be a more modern competitor to General Motors' Bedford TK in the UK market. On release, rigid trucks' gross weights varied from 5.2 to 12.75 tonnes. Tippers were from 10.8 to 12.75 tonnes. With later introductions of twin rear axles, higher gross weights were available. An articulated tractor cab was also produced for the D series. They were of a Ford control design with a tilting cabin for access to the engine. 3 new diesel engines were produced for the D series, a 3.97 litre 4-cylinder and 2 6-cylinder units, a 5.42 and a 5.95 litre. The range was expanded in 1967 with the arrival of the D1000, which was designed to operate up to 28 gross tonnes. These were powered by a 7.7 litre Cummins V8 diesel engine. Original diesels offered between 82 and 128 horsepower. Petrol engines were also offered, producing between 129 and 148 horsepower. By comparison, the Cummins unit boasted output of 210 horsepower. The D series was in production up until 1981, when it was replaced by the Ford Cargo. While the real D series replaced the Thames Trader in 1965, this model replaced another Thames, the 70A Thames Estate Car, the following year. All examples of the 70B grit spreader were painted in shades of red for the body and shades of yellow for the hopper. Early versions were likely to be fitted with a paler yellow hopper, with paint becoming more vivid towards the end of the regular wheels run. It is a similar story for the red. All had a green tinted plastic window piece fitted. Likewise, all had black plastic wheels and a silver plated metal base, which contained features such as the grille and headlights. This connected to the body via a rivet central to the casting. This rivet was connected to the hopper, thus sandwiching the chassis. It also has a tongue and slot fitment to the front. The hopper and chassis are secured together at the rear of the casting via a second post. There is a cutout in the plastic slide that was fitted underneath the hopper to vary the flow of grit. A 90-degree angle moulded into the plastic slide allowed for it to be pulled out to open the chute, or pushed flush with the model to close it. Darker, more vivid shades of red and yellow began to appear later on in production, in preparation for the model's transition to the Superfast line. Mint versions of these are slightly more valuable to collectors than earlier lighter colours. A rare pre-production model was produced with a green body too. Here I'm using every last drop I have of Tamiya TS16 yellow to paint the hopper. Unfortunately, this is the palest shade of yellow I can find in a rattle can, one of the drawbacks to this method of painting. So this model with its darker yellow and vivid red will represent better one of the later production castings. The grit spreader was one of the last models converted from regular wheels to the then well-established Superfast line in 1971. These were all painted the brighter shades, likely done to fit in with the brash and exciting additions to the new series. I find a grit spreader a bit of an odd choice for conversion, at a time when Matchbox were taking on Hot Wheels head-on, but it certainly isn't the strangest model to be upgraded. Due to its short Superfast run, only 2 variations are known. These are the fitment of uncommon 5-slot thin wheels, as it is usually found with the 4-slot wheels instead. It was discontinued in 1972, replaced by the wild and exciting new Dodge Dragster at 70C. Here I'm about to remove over 50 years of decay by giving this small base plate a polish. After a healthy coating of Autosol metal polish, I use my buffing pad rotary attachments to work the polish in. It doesn't take long for it to start looking better. It's hard and dirty work, but the results are often so pleasing with these silver plated bases. After the axles and wheels have been attached to the refreshed base and grille, I polish up the tired looking window piece. This Polywatch scratch remover has been a revelation. I spend far more time rubbing these parts than I show in these videos. You wouldn't want to see that display in its entirety. With the touching up of the axle ends complete, it's now time to reassemble this truck. The window piece secures back onto the stub of a shallow rivet I drilled it off of earlier. Once that's in, I attach the base at the tongue and slot first of all. That's because the hopper is needed to fully fasten it, with its shallow front rivet post required for that. So I grab the hopper and position the plastic slide. And then I need to align the chassis and hopper at the points where those posts pass through. Then I push them together until they connect. And the longer threaded rear rivet post is held in position with a 3mm M2 screw. This is how my Matchbox 70B grit spreading truck looked when Tony sent it. It had been pretty paint damaged overall, and the grille piece was in dire need of a polish. Thankfully, the window piece and plastic slide were intact and in good health, so a straightforward dismantle, repaint, reassemble was in order. Now, while the paints I used to recreate this livery were not the exact same shade, they were still similar to those shades seen on late run pre-Superfast models. So this new livery is not completely unauthentic, the bright red teamed with bright yellow. Again, it's an unfortunate side effect of exclusively using rattle cans. But I'm very pleased with the overall appearance. The window piece is polished up well. The wheels look revitalised following a coating of Citadel. All fits back together nicely considering this model's atypical construction. The axle ends have been left beaming, and arguably best of all is the improvement to the base piece. The grille looks a lot more vibrant and the cast markings are now more defined. So that is all from me and the 70B. If you enjoyed this build, please do leave the video a like. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you would like to help support the channel, maybe you'd like to become a supporter on Patreon. Links are at the end of the video, but all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.